Welcome Diecast race fans, I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
And it's time for the V8 Super Sprint Series. Like the Mustang tournament, we're running the same point system and the same deal regarding DNFs that are fully through Kahuna Corner and still on their wheels.
That's right, but let's have a look at who's driving for Team Aussie and where they're going to start off the race. As always, everyone will rotate, but this is their starting positions. First up, we've got Crazy KC for Metal Mania 3D and Hot Car Track, driving for Hot Car Track in the front row. Then we've got Marc D for CRC Racing and M Rocatansky driving for MFP. And then in the back row, to start with, we've got D Platt for Team Plasma and Johnson for DJ Racing.
All right, boys, you look good. Let's head up and get this racing started. All right, the team is lined up and they're away. Hot Car Track out quick, but Crazy KC with a huge burst of speed there. Nice work. Oh, here comes D Platt from nowhere. Comes from last place to take the win. Slips right past Crazy KC. And what happened to Marc D there?
I don't know, it looks like he stalled out. And what happened with these other guys? Why are they even off track?
I don't know. Let's go back through the big Kahuna replay and have a look.
So it was all looking pretty good for these front three, but then these guys in the outside track, oh, that was Hot Car Track, gets it wrong. That throws out Rocatansky, then he gets nailed by Johnson, gets pushed off track, and then how did the other two end up? Oh my goodness, they roll back. And Hot Car Track, that is bad luck for him.
That sure is. I mean, they were well out of the race anyway. They were barely going to score any points, but that is really going to hurt because both Rocatansky and Hot Car Track now have to sit out the next race because they finished off track. So the rules state if you finish off track, you miss your next race. But that was just an amazing drive from D Platt for Team Plasma, taking first spot after starting in last place. Then Marc D picks up 2 points because he was through Kahuna Corner, so he gets half points for his position.
A rough start for three of them, but there's still a lot of racing to go, so they've got a chance to catch up still.
So race 2 is underway. We've only got 4 cars this time because the other 2 are getting picked up by the tow trucks. And that's Johnson way out in front here, huge lead. All he has to do is hold on. Nicely done. Oh, and a bit of a push there from Platt right at the end against Crazy KC. Let's have a look at the Kahuna replay at finish road there.
So Johnson came down very nice and clean, and then Crazy KC just holds out D Platt there, and Marc D picks up 4th place.
So Rocatansky and Hot Car Track there both pick up 0 points because they couldn't start that race, but they're back in this time and it's all on.
And Platt, a bit of a dark horse. Nobody really knew him before this competition, but they're going to know him after this.
As we head into race 3, Platt starting in the front row this time, out very strong.
Now that he's got some clear space, you'd expect him to take the win here.
Huge lead on the others. Oh, that looked like Crazy KC that went over. Platt storms away for a huge win there. And that's Johnson, and I think that was Marc D, was it? Or was that Rocatansky? I can't quite tell.
Yeah, they're pretty similar, but I'm sure it was the 41 car of Marc D.
Yeah, that was Marc D. Oh, and he's finished off track. Crazy KC finishes off track as we go through the big Kahuna replay. Let's see what happened to KC.
So, oh, look at that. He absolutely launched himself off the track. That was like zombie in the Mustang tournament.
Yeah, it looked pretty brutal, and then he almost had it under control. And then Rocatansky there absolutely smashing into the back of Hot Car Track.
Look at this. What a massive amount of air. Just gets flipped over, slung down the track, and then, oh, such a brutal crash. And then here he does really well to get his car back on his wheels, but unfortunately goes over the side barrier, overcompensates. And then look at that. Rocatansky nailing Hot Car Track from behind.
Freezing.
And Hot Car Track gets spun off down the track.
Release your inner Frank with this classic Give It the Beans t-shirt available from chaoscanyonmerch.online. So as we look at the scores from race number 3, Platt pulling out ahead on 20 points. Then Johnson's moved into 2nd place on 14. And then we've got Crazy KC still in 3rd place with 12 points. And unfortunately, Rocatansky still on 0, but he's got a chance here in race number 4 as he starts from the front row.
And there's only 5 drivers in this one, with KC finishing off lap in that last race. He's got to sit this one out.
Platt there pushing hard from the outside lane. Rocatansky clips him, but he gets ahead. Oh, he gets sideways, and Rocatansky takes it last minute. And Hot Car Track crawling across the line for 3rd place.
And that looks like Marc D from CRC Racing who's gone over there. And then, oh no, Johnson rolled over and flipped off track. That's not good for him as we go through the Big Kahuna replay. So Platt with a huge lead there. Oh, and Johnson just went wide, got his wheel out to the side. That flipped him right off track with a bit of help from Hot Car Track there by the look of it.
Yeah, he looked like he got shoveled over the side a little bit unceremoniously. But Platt here got collected by Rocatansky. They both end up going backwards. Hot Car Track gets his car back under control. Marc D goes too hot into Kahuna Corner, flips over. But if we look at this finish road here, Platt, thinking he had way more time than he did, spun his car around to cross going forwards. Rocatansky saw his opportunity, fed it some gentle and crossed the line just ahead of him.
Platt should have known you just can't relax till you cross the finish line.
So Rocatansky takes it and finally picks up some points, and luckily for him it's a win and moves on to 8 points.
He's still languishing down in 5th spot at the moment, but we know from previous tournaments that anything can happen at the Canyon.
But Platt, huge lead now on 26.
Yeah, he's definitely the star of the Aussie team so far.
Marc D starting up front this time with Rocatansky, both in the yellow and blue cars, but Marc D with the yellow bonnet. Marc D with a big lead here. Lots of clear space, should be an easy win here. Oh no, Marc D goes up. D Platt gets around him with a stunning move there. Marc D wrecking right in front of him. Somehow he gets around.
And there goes Rocatansky to cross as well.
Hot Car Track getting stuck in behind Marc D there. And we're missing someone. Oh, Crazy KC stuck up in KM Corner.
What, did he pull over for a hot dog or something? Oh, that's ridiculous. That is not the time to stop for a snack. I mean, you wait till after the race, don't you? Let's have a look at the Big Kahuna replay. They come into KM Corner and he just slows right down, pulls over.
That is definitely an odd place to stop mid-race. And then through here, you had Marc D go over and whoa, look at Platt there. Can we get another angle? Okay, let's have a look at this. So Marc D out in front, gets wild, rolls it, and then Platt here goes up on 2 wheels, kicks his rear end up in the air and gets around him.
Wow, that is just a superb bit of car control. Look at that. If he hadn't got his rear end that high up in the air, there's no way he would have cleared that car and he could have easily been pushed off the track. Let's have a look at it in his close-up. What an incredible overtake. That is just an incredible bit of driving from D Platt for Team Plasma. It picks up another win. That moves him up to 34 points and he jumps ahead of everybody else. But it is an absolute battle now in this race for 2nd and 3rd because the top 3 drivers go through to take on the Kiwis.
So it's the last race of the night for the Aussies. What's going to happen this time? We've got Hot Car Track and Marc D in the front row. Platt not really needing the points, but he is absolutely bump drafting on Marc D there. Marc D gets ahead. Hot Car Track and D Platt tangling up. Oh, it's 3 wide across the finish. I think Marc D still held on to it. Oh, it's a bit of a nose to tail right on the finish line.
As we go through the Big Kahuna replay, Marc D had a good lead here, and then Platt tries to go around the outside of Hot Car Track. Hot Car Track sees him, pulls across in front of him very nicely. Then Marc D just seemed to lose a bit of power here as he went sideways, realised the other guys were coming up, savagely blocks them, luckily for him. And then if we look at the overhead, oh, he just picks it up by the splitter on the front of his car.
So that lifts Marc D and Rocatansky to 17 points to 2nd equal. So they are going to go on to take on the Kiwis next week, along with D Platt for Team Plasma, who just had an absolutely superb run tonight.
Yeah, that Auckland car of his was just a weapon. Nothing seemed to slow him down, even with Marc D wrecking right in front of him. He just managed to get that car around with a superb bit of driving.
Well, lots of action so far. This is only a short series, so we've got the Kiwis racing next week for their top 3, and then it's straight into the final 6 cars,
where the Aussies will take the overall crown.
Settle down, Guru. Your guys spent more time off the track than they spent on it.
They were just doing that to give you a false sense of confidence, mate.
Sure, just like the Earth's flat, right?
Well, it's flat-ish.
Okay, let's not start that argument. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, do us a favour, hit that like button, leave us a comment, and of course, remember to subscribe so you don't miss a future video. We really appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson, he's Frank the Guru Gibbs, and we're going to let you go out with this amazing drive from D Platt again.